So standing behind the chair, your hands gently resting on the back of the chair. We're going to start by warming up our legs, by just pedaling out our legs, bending one knee and then the other. Your heels will gently lift as you're just starting to warm up the lower body. We'll do this a few more times, lifting those heels, lowering them down, switching legs. We'll do this for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1, lowering those heels down. Then you're going to rise up on those toes, lift those heels up nice and tall, then lower those heels down. So lift those heels up, lower those heels down. So lift for 6 and down, for 5 and down, for 4, for 3, for 2, final 1. Pause here at the top, hold it for a second, for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Gently lowering those heels down, pedaling out those legs, bending one knee and then the other, lifting those heels just a little bit now. Breath is steady. And then lowering both heels down. You're going to press your heels down and you're going to lift those toes up and lower down. So your toes are going to lift and lower. Just gently resting your palms on the back side of the chair as those toes rise and lower down. So just a gentle lift and lower. You have 5 more, 4 more. You have 3, 2, final 1. Pause, pedal out those legs. And then from here, we're just going to start to teeter-tot back and forth. Heels lift, toes rise. So just teeter-tottering back and forth. Getting your legs nice and warm here. You have 6 more. For 5. For 4. For 3. For 2. Final 1. Lowering those feet all the way down. You're going to lower your hands down to the seat of the chair. Palms firmly planted on the seat of the chair. Your gaze is down at those thumbs. You're going to start to pedal out those legs again. So this is your halfway lift. And maybe you notice you can bend your knees a little deeper in this halfway lift, keeping your breath nice and steady. Kind of imagine your crown of your head is reaching forward so you have a nice flat spine. Maintaining your gaze down at those thumbs. Pedaling those legs for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Lower those heels all the way down. With your left palm firmly planted on the seat of the chair, your right fingertips are going to reach forward. Gaze is down at that left thumb. You still have that flat back. And then you're going to lower that right hand down. Your left fingertips will reach forward. Your gaze is down at that right thumb. Breath is steady here, maintaining that flat spine. And then slowly lowering that left palm down. That right arm's going to reach in front again. This time you're going to slowly pick that left foot up. Send that left foot back behind you. Now you can always do a kickstand where those toes are down. Or maybe you lift that leg up. Flexing that ankle, those left toes are pointing down. Your gaze is still down at that left thumb. This is your bird dog. Keeping that breath nice and steady here. Then adding a little bit of movement to this chair, you're going to draw that knee and draw that elbow towards the back of the chair. And then re-extend. We have 5 more just like that. Knee to elbow. And extend. You have 4 more. And extend. 3 more. Extend. 2 more. Extend. Final 1. Extend long. Pausing in that bird dog. From your bird dog, you're going to start to pulse that left leg. For 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Slowly lowering your hand, lowering that foot down. Pedaling out those knees. Taking the time to feel the stretch. Returning your breath to that natural rhythm. And then lowering both feet down. Your left fingertips reach forward. You have that flat spine. Then that right leg reaches behind you. Maybe a kickstand. Maybe that right leg floats up. Toes are pointing down. You're in your bird dog. Your gaze is down with that right thumb. Keeping that breath steady. You're going to take a nice long inhale. You're going to exhale, tap that knee and elbow towards the back of the chair and extend back. You have 5 more just like that. Knee to elbow, exhale that air. Inhale as you lengthen. 4 more. Crunch it together. 3 more. You have 2. Final one. Extend for that bird dog. And then you're going to pulse that right leg for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Slowly lowering that left hand, lowering that right foot, pedaling out those legs. Lowering those heels down, finding the pause here in this halfway lift. Your right leg will extend back behind you, those right toes pointing down. You're going to bend that knee, the sole of your foot draws upward, and then extend that leg. You have 5 more just like that. Bend that knee, and then extend. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. Final one. That leg is still floating up. And then you're going to slowly lower those right toes down, a little tap. And then lift that leg up. Tapping down 5 more times. And extend up. 4 more. Lifting that leg. Flexing that ankle. 3 more. 2 more. Final one. Tap. Rise up that leg. Toes pointing down. Slowly lowering that right foot next to that left foot. Pedaling out those legs, bending those knees. Repeating that on the left side, lowering those heels down. That left leg rises up. Left toes are pointing down, flexing that ankle. Then you're going to bend that knee, sole of your foot rises. Extend that leg for 5. Bend that knee. For 4. Bending that knee for 3. Extend. For 2. Extend. For 1. Extend that leg, pausing here, left toes pointing down. Then you're going to slowly lower that left foot down, little tap of the toes. And then rise up. Lowering down, tapping for 5. And then lift. For 4. And lift. For 3. And lift. For 2. And lift. For 1. Lifting that leg up, pausing here. Slowly lowering that left foot next to the right. Pedaling out those legs. And then slowly walking up to the back of the chair. Nice slow movement. Your head and neck will arrive last, arriving in your mountain. Pausing here, feet firmly granted into the ground beneath you. You're going to sweep those arms out and up overhead. Take a nice big inhale up. And then exhale, lower those arms down. We'll do that 2 more times. Big inhale up. And then exhale those hands down to the back of the chair. Final time here. Big inhale up. Exhale those hands to the back of the chair. You're going to adjust yourself so you're on perpendicular to the back of the chair. And then you're going to step your left foot nice and wide so your feet are parallel to the chair. And then from here, you're going to draw your heels in. Your toes are out. Your hand is just gently resting on your hip. You're going to slowly sink your hips as you bend those knees for a little squat. And then slowly rise up. Squatting down for 5. And then rising. For 4. Slow movements here. Lowering for 3. Maintaining that tall spine. Lowering for 2. Rising up. Lowering for your final 1. You're going to pause here in your squat. And then you're going to pulse. For 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1, pause, and then slowly straighten those legs, both arms reach up, 5-point star, nice big stretch. Lowering those palms down to your thighs. Right palm lands to the back of the chair. Pivot your right foot. Step that left foot next to your right foot. Pausing in your mountain. Final big inhale up. Fingertips reach all the way up. And then exhale, lowering those arms down.